Hey, Alan.
Hey Anthony, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I guess I had a couple questions for you that it's something that has been on my mind. Basically about what are your thoughts on this whole election process right now? Just a general
Okay.
question.
Well, of course, we're talking about in the U.S. at this point
That's right. Yeah.
because that's the most recent election that I'm aware of, or at
Yes.
least involved in.
Yes.
And elections are funny things. Everybody has hopes and dreams. Oh, if this person gets elected, this will happen, and if this person gets elected, this will happen, or oh no, if they get elected, these terrible things will happen.
Yeah.
And no matter what side you're on,
Hmm.
somebody's going to be unhappy because it's the nature of two sides,
Right.
especially in the concept of Maya, in the world, in the drama land.
Yeah.
Because our senses tell us one thing, and what's so odd is somebody that lives across the street has a completely different take on the process and who's involved with it. So
Right.
nobody really wins and nobody really loses. Everybody's just playing the game. Now, if you personally have a point of view about it, you feel strongly about it, from the perspective of the wonder method, which
Yeah.
is what we do, we process our feelings around it and we wonder a positive outcome as well,
Right.
our view of a positive outcome.
Yes.
And the purpose of this is not necessarily simply to change reality, though it easily can.
Yeah.
It's to come into balance and harmony with ourselves and our lives. And what's so very interesting, if we'll do that, no matter who gets elected, they will be more balanced because of even one individual's willingness to unwind their resistances around the issues.
So, how would that person who's elected be more balanced by, say, you processing, or not even you, the viewer, you or
Anyone,
myself, anyone
yeah,
processing the resistance around their view of this person? How would that help
okay.
the elector?
There's tension inside of us and tension around us.
Yeah.
And the tension that's around us is, in my opinion, showing us where we personally hold,
Oh,
where we personally find resistance.
okay.
As we unwind our personal resistance, there's less need for it to be outpictured in our world.
Oh,
Because as
makes
we
sense.
unwind those issues, there's nothing for them to press against.
Right.
And because there's nothing for them to press against, the person putting forward fear or really just maybe seemingly odd ideas to an individual, um, they soften, they relax, they come into better balance
Or change.
because yeah, they change.
Yeah. So, would you say, like, for example, if somebody feels victimized by the particular, whatever the result is, how would that work? Is it, how would that work within themselves?
Within themselves, they would just note the physical reaction within themselves, the physical sensation, not just the mind game. The mind game will keep you in a game like you're on a hamster wheel for forever.
Yeah.
We unwind the feelings that are present so that we can remove some of the layers that are keeping us stuck in this line of thought and reasoning.
Right. So some people
Go
may
ahead.
think, oh, if this guy is elected, this is going to happen. It's going to be terrible for me. Or if this person's elected, this is going to happen for me. And they think their world's dependent on because of whoever getting elected
Right.
for president. How do you view that?
Again, it's how do I feel about it?
Hmm.
And if it upsets me that my neighbor's upset, I'll process that.
And will
It's
that?
whatever's limiting me. And so let's say that you looked at it, you're in a
Hmm.
different country and you're looking at it and you go, well, this, he's kind of an interesting dude or
Yeah.
she's kind of an interesting gal. And but it's not going to directly affect me. But
Yeah.
every bit of animosity and fear in the world affects everybody a little bit.
Hmm. And the
So we just process
and
that.
you
We again
process
open
that,
to it.
and that would unconsciously, I guess you could say, or interconnectedness would kind of help balance the all just from you alone processing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and if it doesn't seem like I'm enough, if I have that thought,
Yeah.
that to me is just another limitation within me.
Wow. So it's all about you, the individual.
That's right.
So even the fear in the world is really just an out projection of you as well,
Yes,
and you're processing that because it's showing you where you're holding within you.
correct.
Wow. So, do you have any? I mean, it's personal for everybody, but do you think if one or the other got elected, it would somehow change the world? Like how some people think, oh, if he's elected, it's going to do this. If she's elected, this is not going to happen.
If I, again, you're asking sort of a cause and effect reality, and to
Yeah.
me, it's all about my unwinding.
Okay.
So if I fear that one person's going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll start processing that.
Oh.
And I'll wonder what it might be about. This person making excellent choices and taking into consideration everything they should. I
Yeah.
will work my way into the feelings that even the positive statement produces, because just because
Yeah.
a statement's positive, it doesn't mean it's going to produce a positive reaction within me.
Right. So really, it's all about going back to you. It's not really about the other person somehow having control over you. It's about your reaction to it.
That's right,
Wow.
because it's sort of like every person on the planet is interconnected,
Yes.
just like every cell within our body is interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
If one part's out of harmony, every part's a bit out of harmony.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with what we've got,
Mm-hmm.
us,
Right.
and we unwind that. And if our choice is, say, in my heart, this is what feels right,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what I'll do.
Right.
And if it feels wrong, then I won't do it. But I will process my concern, because wrong implies fear.
Right. So what if? So there is, say, if there is wrong going on in the world, can it affect you, or what if you're totally at peace with it? It won't. Will
If
that
you're
be?
totally at peace, yeah, it's a non-issue for you.
So it's really a subjective reality for each.
That's right.
Okay.
And think of it this way. We're playing an amazing game, an
Yeah.
unlimited game.
Right.
And there's every possible permutation or combination of things you could do on the planet in
Yep.
the game.
Right.
And so you say, well, no, the planet needs to be totally at peace. Well, what about the people that want war?
Yeah. So they're creating
You know,
that almost
yeah,
like a not a separate reality, but kind of what's that word? Alternate universe almost.
that's right. A parallel
Parallel
reality.
reality.
Yeah. And it's not that I want war.
Right.
No.
Right.
But if I'm worried about it, I process it. And what's interesting to me is things change.
Wow.
And the game changes. The way we relate to each other changes, and the resolutions change completely. It's really quite surprising that it happens, but it does.
So at something at a state like that, somebody who we'd call a little more at peace or having a peace that passeth all understanding type thing. How do you view? Does it really matter to you who, in the grand scheme of things, who really gets in terms of this U.S. election?
Oh, I have a preference.
Yeah.
I have a preference because one person seems less bad than the other,
Right.
rather than one is better than the other.
But really, that's
Um,
just the game of it. But in reality,
yeah,
to you, it's just you're still being
it's just a
regardless.
game. Will I vote for the person of my choice? Sure.
Yeah.
But does it in the long run, if I find the drama pushing me, that's my opportunity to grow.
Yeah. You don't feel victimized by it at all,
No,
regardless who is. You're still going to go on with your alternate or your reality.
that's right.
Wow. I think that's such a refreshing way to look at this because you see people on whether it be social media or even around you, they're, oh, if this happened, they put so much emotional attachment into it.
And there's the word.
Yeah.
And then their mind, there's emotional attachment to it, but there's no feeling other than reactivity
Yeah.
going on.
Anger,
They're not actually,
reactivity.
yeah, they're reacting in knee-jerk kind of reaction, rather
Yeah.
than unfolding who they. If people would take the time to
Hmm.
feel their feelings and let them unfold,
Hmm.
then they would find that balance comes more and more to their world.
Yeah.
And the experiences that are involved in that broaden the whole reality.
Wow.
for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough for me. I mean, that right there answered everything I had a question on that. I really appreciate you taking the time and answering that today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Do you have anything do you have anything that comes to mind, anything else on the topic really? Or to close the statements
Um,
about this election?
and
Oh,
it's true for every level of one's life, not just an election.
yeah,
You're upset with your neighbor, it's an
same thing.
opportunity. You're upset with your dog, it's another opportunity. You're upset with yourself, it's another opportunity.
Yeah,
Everything that restricts you and makes you feel that your world is against you
yeah,
or holding you back is your entry point to freedom. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like just the opposite. This work is very counterintuitive in that way.
right.
But I'll put forward this. If you do the same thing over and over again and you expect a different result,
Mm-hmm.
that's the definition of insanity,
Mm-hmm.
at least according to Einstein. And he had a few things on the ball.
Yeah.
So the point here is the way we've been living and reacting to our world has created what we see around us.
Right.
Are you happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not happy with that, well, process your feelings and then open to a new potential.
Yeah.
So that a whole different reality can open. And again, each one of those new realities has feeling in it. It's the only reason we do anything.
Exactly.
We're motivated by our feelings.
Yeah.
The words, we can stop the feeling
Yeah.
through our minds,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't stop the feelings from being there. It just builds them up more.
Yeah. Resisting. Yeah.
The more resistance, the more resistance.
Right.
So step by step, we open
Right.
and we become. And eventually you are, would be the word. You simply are present.
And that's just beyond everything. It's like a different.
It's a different way of experiencing the world, and
Yeah.
it tends to make one very comfortable in one's life. The mind gets quiet. It's not that you don't make decisions. It's not
Right.
that you don't have a point of view. It's that you don't get caught in the drama of it and drive yourself bananas about it.
Right. And when you say comfortable, it's not the kind of comfort like where people are in comfort zones because of fear. It's the kind
No,
of,
not at all.
yeah, how would you describe this kind of comfort?
Wow. It's like sitting in an airplane at
Mm-hmm.
30,000 feet where the temperature is perfect
Mm-hmm.
and the sky is open as far as you can see, and you're not even really seeing the boundaries of the plane. You're just in motion with it.
Wow. So
It's like cruising.
yeah. So really there's no word, there's words that can point to it, but it can't really, you can't even, it can't be the experience of it. It's just, it's beyond words.
Yeah. The Tao, which is
Yeah.
a Taoist philosophy, 3,000 to 5,000 years old,
Yeah.
would say, you can't know it, but you can be it at
Yeah.
ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom.
Wow.
So as you come to realizations,
Mm-hmm.
not reasoned in the
Yes.
classical sense,
Right.
but unwindings of no resistance, you arrive at understanding. It's just what's there.
Right. So trying to define it, anything we think it is, it's not because that's
It's limited.
conceptual and limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not to say people won't try and describe it, and they do all the time.
Yeah. But it's not it.
That's it.
Wow.
You can't know it, but you can be it.
Right. Exactly. And that, I mean, processing and feeling is, I mean, you can definitely do it with that. I mean, I've been doing it for a while now, and you've really helped me with that. And you've helped hundreds of people with that. So, I mean, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, definitely doable. It's just a question of being willing to take a step.
Yeah.
The Wonder Method takes some courage. It's the willingness to go where you haven't been before.
Yeah.
It takes faith that is valuable where you're going.
Right.
And it takes some surrender, not in the sense of giving up, but the willingness to open to who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I think the subject I answered every question I had. And talk to you next time, Alan. Thank you again.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot for making this possible.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, Alan. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.